A record number of people signed House of Commons e-petitions last year. Do they make a difference? Now, the record-breaking e-petition that went out last year, and of all time, is now this one from Michelle Ferrari, the one she sponsored, actually. So it was actually brought about by Melissa Outwater from Peterborough, Ontario, a true patriot over here, saying, we need to call for a vote of no confidence in this government. We, the citizens of Canada, have lost confidence in Justin Trudeau and the Liberal NDP coalition. We call it what they want. It is a coalition. We call on the House for a vote of no confidence. We ask for an election within 45 days if the vote is won. Just asking for a vote to come out and be put forward. Now, a lot of votes when they vote against the, the budget, for example, is a confidence vote, but they want a vote specifically for this, and to the tune of 387,487 people have signed this petition and said, let's bring this to the forefront. Now, it's made national headlines. Of course, the CBC now reporting on this. Record number of people signed petitions last year. Do they make a difference? Is this something that is even worthwhile getting yourself involved? One MP says it's time to consider giving online petitions more real-world clout. Obviously, this would be good. This is ideal. This is the whole point of signing e-petitions and engaging in democracy as a whole. We keep hearing about democracy's backsliding. Why is it backsliding? Perhaps it's orders in council. Perhaps it's all the things that go against democratically elected processes. Maybe coalitions in government when we elect a minority government and then they usurp the powers of a majority. These are things that we're hoping to avoid by using these petitions. How about an election? You want democracy to be upheld? Let's have an election. That's the utmost thing in a democracy. A call for the House of Commons to vote for no confidence in the Liberal government is now the most signed e-petition ever to be launched in Canada. Another sign of the increasing popularity of online petitions and the increasing unpopularity of the Trudeau Liberal NDP coalition. The petition was put forward by Peterborough, Ontario resident and sponsored by Conservative MP Michelle Ferrari. It calls on the House of Commons to initiate a vote of no confidence in the Liberal government, defeat it and hold an election within 45 days. The e-petition has now awaiting certification, garnered 386,698 signatures. Okay, there's a little bit of a discrepancy between the reporting and the actual website. Ferrari frequently promoted the e-petition on social media, including a video featuring a person who had initiated the petition. In a statement sent to CBC News, Ferrari accused Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of eroding Canadians' trust in government through his government record on several key... I mean, is this even in question at this point? Come on. Misery is a powerful motivator, and clearly this petition is elevating the voices of Canadians who are sick of the Trudeau-imposed misery and want a leader and a government they can trust, she said. Now, this is a graph showing how popular these e-petitions have become over time because people don't feel that there's any other recourse in this democracy. Again, a lot of people voting with their feet, just leaving the country entirely because they're sick of this governance and how much it's affecting people's everyday daily lives. I mean, I've been comparing this actually recently to your relationship to your landlord. It should be much like the relationship to a government. A good relationship with a landlord is one that you never even hear from. That's the best way. One that doesn't charge you too much and you don't have to end up having to move out. That's kind of the idea. You hopefully have that sort of relationship with your government. If you never hear from your government, that's the ideal government, is it not? High-profile e-petitions attract hundreds of thousands of signatures each year, part of a growing trend towards using online petitions to pressure governments in a variety of controversial subjects, such as firearms regulation and foreign policy. This is really how we get the government to listen to us. This is the real deal. Now, most of those signatures went to justify a few high-profile online petitions. 3 of 5 most signed e-petitions were put forward in late 2023. A fourth, sponsored by Conservative MP Leslyn Lewis, is still open for signatures and could soon crack the top 10. And I'll leave a link to that one. Now, this is from Conservative MP Leslyn Lewis, of course, initiated by Doug Portier from Burnaby, British Columbia, another great patriot here in this country, saying we need to get rid of the UN. We need to get out. We need to back out. The UN does not represent us, and they're an unelected bureaucratic entity that wants to overthrow, essentially usurp our national sovereignty. And we would like to avoid that whole thing. Canada's membership in the United Nations and subsidiary organizations, example, the World Health Organization, imposes negative consequences on the people of Canada, far outweighing any of the benefits. Canada's agreement to participate in the UN WHO Comprehensive Agenda 2030 undermines national sovereignty and personal autonomy. Agenda 2030 and its operational sustainable development goals, the SDGs for short, comprehensive sexuality education, UN judicial review, all of these different things that they've put forward, absent awareness and consent of the people or their elected representatives. This is national sovereignty that's at stake here. So sponsored by Leslyn Lewis and is at 76,336 signatures as of today, as of me checking it just now. Conservative MP Leslyn Lewis says Canada needs to leave the United Nations. This is an article from the Globe and Mail. And yeah, I mean, it's just covering the same story here. The Prime Minister's office is questioning a high-profile Conservative MP support for a petition that seeks Canada's withdrawal from the United Nations and its subsidiary agencies. Leslyn ran for the Conservative leadership in the party's last two leadership contests, sponsored the public petition to bring it before the Parliament, and is seeking signatories. And this is from a BC resident, Doug Portier, again, repeating the same stuff. Mohammed Hussein, a press secretary for the Prime Minister, said Wednesday that Miss Lewis is, how about Dr. Lewis? If you're gonna make sure you get the pronouns correct and all this stuff, how about you get the title on a person's name correctly? It's Dr. Leslyn Lewis. Endorses raise some questions here. Make no mistake, when someone posts a petition, it's because they agree with it. What about the UN what is it about the UN that Conservatives don't like? Mr. Hussein said in a statement. Well, why don't you just read what she has to say about it? She took to Twitter to talk about this. As this is Dr. Leslyn Lewis, doctor, for all you liberals out there that are having a hard time with that one. As countries prepare to finalize the WHO Global Pandemic Accord in May, the Liberals have been lobbying the World Health Organization to include climate change in their definition of a pandemic emergency. Wait, what does that have to do with anything? Hey, well, let's have a look. See the response to my access to information request, RE Canada's input to the WHO. So this is something that the government didn't want everybody to know, but you know, we have access to information. So she requested this, and this is what the Liberals have been lobbying for. While we recognize the initial main focus of the work will be on infectious diseases, the new instrument should be inclusive and defined by all hazards approach in alignment with the IHR. Example, climate change impacts. Oh, okay, so we want to be able to do full-on lockdowns via this thing. You know, we're not going to be going with orders in council anymore. We're going to go with UN declarations, World Health Organization declarations based on climate change impacts. Those things are very, very subject to people's interpretation. We have been seeing that recently. But of course, the Liberals are running with this one. In these challenging times, we need to be focused on working with our global partners. But one of Pierre Poilievre's MPs thinks we should withdraw from the United Nations. Pierre needs to denounce this reckless idea immediately, and then making their own headline, like ripping their own headline, saying far-right conspiracy groups boost Conservative MP petition to remove Canada from the United Nations. Now, this is more just a, wow, people are waking up to the idea that there's this massive bureaucracy in the United Nations that is not in favor of, the Canadians are not in favor of, and we don't want to hand over our sovereignty to this bureaucracy over there. We now know after a pandemic what bureaucracies run amok can do to our everyday lives. We want out. We kind of want out. And this is the sentiment you'll see all over social media. You see people writing about this. Here's Mark on Twitter saying, I need to get a new snowblower to deal with my boiling ocean global warming climate crisis that the WEF and UN and moronic Liberal Party are telling us is occurring. I've seen cold weather and snow for over 50 years. Now I realize it's climate change. This is where we're at. Here's another UN watch talking about, oh, well, these are the initiatives that the UN are doing. No joke, this Thursday, the Islamic regime in Iran will become chair of the UN Human Rights Council Social Forum. They're going to chair this thing. Say no to the UN legitimizing a regime that beats, blinds, tortures, and I'm not going to say that word, to women for demanding their rights. Yeah, this is the United Nations. What do you think they actually have up their sleeve? I don't know. It doesn't sound very good. It's as simple as saying, nah, I'm not going to give you the power to rule over us in our country here in Canada. So again, I'll leave a link in the description. You guys can go over and you can sign this petition. Get your name in there if you support this, and don't forget to contribute and actually put yourself out there. Get out there, do something. I mean, it's in the title of my YouTube channel, doing something. I'm trying to do my best. Hopefully, you guys can do your best as well. It'll take you a minute out of your day. If you agree with this petition, get over there and sign it. Again, link is in the description down below. But hey, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about all of this. And we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.